Hey, good morning, everybody. This is day 2 with the new microphone. We'll have to see how this goes. I'm definitely hearing a little echo for myself, which isn't great because I haven't figured out how to separate the microphone from the audio that's all coming through, but hopefully it sounds good for you. So let me know. It's always a good thing to check in on and make sure that you guys can hear me properly and that the sound is good and all of that. So yeah, good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday. Tuesday is usually a crazy day for me, and this Tuesday is no exception. Good morning, Suduki. Does it sound okay? I have a whole new microphone, Sarah, that I added yesterday, and a soundboard and a bunch of stuff. Corey Haynes is here. We have sound effects. Make that Sarah's sound effect. Good morning, Joel. So there's a bunch of new audio stuff baked in to what's happening here. It does still have some echo-ish qualities. Yeah, well, now I didn't notice this last time. Maybe if I turn this down a little bit. No, I can't turn the microphone down. I'm not sure what to do here. I have a lot of exploration to do. I have a lot of advanced settings to get into. I need to figure out how I can talk to the microphone without it totally losing its mind. Should have some sound effects happening. There it is. There it is. Good morning, Mom. So yeah, that's what's happening here today. So as we do every day, we are working on building cool stuff for Alexa, and I'll give a quick demo of what we've been working on. We're building a big trivia game for Alexa. Do I have a pop filter? Yes, there's a pop filter built into the mic. But I think, like, unless if I come on real close and go like, then you get a little poppiness. But there is a pop filter built right into the mic. Definitely a room echo, not a valley echo. Yeah, it's because I've turned the gain way up, and I don't know what I'm doing. I have a lot of things to figure out here about this. I feel like there's still some things that need to be fixed. So Select the Gang asks what microphone I'm using. This is the Rode Procaster, and it's being fed into the something that has the very similar name, the Rodecaster Pro. Ruyan's exactly right? There's no better way to test. You guys are very open and honest with me, with how things sound and how things look and whatever. So I really appreciate that you guys are all here and we can always test things. Startup wants to know, on a lighter note, is that Alexa shouting mom every time? It is not. It's actually a chatbot, and I have a sound effect assigned to my actual mom. And so when she shows up and says hi, it announces her arrival. And Startup, Ruyan, Saduki, Corey Haynes, if you guys have a sound effect that you want for like your play on music, we can definitely hook that up. Yeah, I'm gonna have to spend some time, maybe tomorrow, before the stream, really playing with some of this audio, because I haven't had a chance to play with it since we were on stream last time. But yeah, I've definitely got some work to do to get all of this audio stuff figured out, because it's good, it's not great, and I want to get it to great. All right, so what I really want to do, though, good morning, Oxygen Box. Man, we've got a bunch of people on here today. What I really want to do this morning is work on some APL. So for those of you that don't know, we should probably just take a quick journey through what we're building here. And to do that, I'm going to jump into the developer console. So as part of building stuff for Alexa, which is obviously primarily voice, we also have opportunities based on devices we have that have screens on them. We have the ability to put visual information on the screen. And so you can see that I have this example here. Hello from Indonesia. It's evening there. Welcome, welcome. And so you can see that I have a picture that's sitting behind. I have text on the screen. I have the answer that shows. I have my logo. I have the category. And as we play with this, let me make sure that my service is running. As we play with this, so if I say, give me a sports question as an example, you'll see that the screen will change.
This is a fun sports and games question for you. The properties in the board game, Monopoly, are named after locations in or near what U.S. city?
So you can see that this is what the screen looks like when someone is asked a question, right? The properties in the board game Monopoly are named after locations in or near what U.S. city. They don't get to see the answer. And Sarah, you nailed it. There's the documentation. Thank you.
Okay.
So
what is your answer?
This is what a question looks like. We have this really nice kind of abstract background of the category that you're in. We show the category that you're currently in at the top. We show the question on the screen. And then if I want to give the answer is Atlantic City, by the way.
Bam! You got that one right. The answer to that question was Atlantic City, New Jersey. What would you like to do now?
And so now you can see, obviously my graphics behind are terrible, but the idea is to be able to have a really nice, rich graphic that kind of fills the entire screen for each individual instance of every question. And we have a database holding all of this. So you can see here I have my list of questions, and over here I have a graphic for every one of them. So these graphics need to be tweaked. You can see they're all different shapes and sizes. So what I need to do is come up with a template that will allow me to kind of unify these and create them all at the same aspect ratio. But this is one of the things that I ran into yesterday as I was playing with this. is that different screen sizes have different aspect ratios, have different pixel dimensions. And so I wasn't sure actually what size graphics I should make. And I was hoping that maybe some of the APL experts that tune in here might have some guidance or advice on that. If I want to build a set of graphics, or ideally one graphic for each of these, is there a specific at least aspect ratio that I should use? I'm not sure what the right answer is here, because a lot of these images, like this one is just pumpernickel bread, but for like this one, like this is a completely different thing, right? But I would want to create a graphic that fills the whole space and then have this kind of in the middle. And the answer to that question is Maya Angelou. So we're just showing one of her books. So this is kind of how we think about doing graphics, but these graphics aren't going to work for me, right? I need, is that going to load? Please load. All right, don't load. But for each of these graphics, you can see that I have very, very different sizes and whatever. These are things that I've just pulled from the internet. So I need to be able to kind of refactor these a little bit. That's not what we're here today to do, though. What I'd like to do today is take a couple of things that were created. So one is going to be this APL Ninja thing that was created. So we're going to come to, can I find recent, most recently created? Give me more recently created. Somewhere in here, this one, or animated swirl background. We'll use this one. This is the original, I think, and this is the one that Gold Zulu created for me based on my intro video. But this swirly is actually what I want to be able to use. So this works with all of the different viewports. And I think we're going to use this as our background. So I'm going to take this editor, and we're just going to take this APL, and we're going to come over to, where do I want to do this? Well, we're going to create a new home screen. So let's just go to the tooling. We'll go to developer.amazon.com, and this is where we're going to get into our skill, and then we'll open the design tool, and we'll use this as kind of our layout. So if I come into multimodal responses, and then we go to visual, just going to create a new visual response, and we can just choose this because I'm going to delete everything. So we'll take our APL, pop this in instead, and you can see that we get this nice spinny background. Now, the way it's been explained to me is this actually centers itself on a device, but it looks like this in the simulators for some reason, where it's not centered. So the first thing that I really want to do is figure out where he's keeping his colors. I don't see, there they are. So we have two paths, a light and a dark. Now I have slightly different color scheme that I use. Let me see if I can grab my graphic, and we'll try to pull the colors out of that that I want to use. They're just kind of like two different tans. So let's come in here to TKO Trivia. We'll do art, and then we have background. So this graphic is the one that I like. It's very similar to what we're looking at, but what I want to do is grab these two different tannish colors. I wanted something subtle, subdued, kind of lives in the background, and these are some good colors for that. That way I can put a lot of color on top and not have it clash. Do I have a color picker on here? Don't have a color picker. I think there's the Windows Power? Is Power Toys what I'm thinking of? You're going to tell me what's in Power Toys? Color picker. This is the one that I want. So get me this. Get me Power Toys. Let's do this. If you guys haven't played with Power Toys, there's a bunch of really cool stuff baked into Power Toys. But one of them is a color picker, and I just haven't installed it on this machine yet. So we want that. Released 18 days ago by Clint Rutkus. If you guys don't know Clint, he's a buddy of mine at Microsoft, works on a bunch of awesome projects, but this is just one of the many things that he spends his time on. I haven't done any .NET development on this machine, so it probably needs to install a few things. That's great. That's great. We'll just get the Power Toys installed here, and then we can use the color picker that's in there. Finish. Cool. So we don't need that. Goodness. Okay, so let's come back to Power Toys. In here, I think there is a way to like call this up directly. Win-Shift-C. Cool. So now, Win-Shift-C gives me a nice little color picker. See? Awesome. So the colors that I want, we'll go with the more subtle versions of these. Look, Sudoku just dropping links on people. You're amazing. Now I need to remember. There we go. So we're going to take this hex value over to this. We're going to put it. Oh, I forgot he does them separately. Okay. Boom. And just by doing that, you're wrong. Oh, I forgot a quote. Just by doing that, you can see I now have my one little tan stripe, but it's got a border on it. That's interesting. So there must be border paths in here too. Hello from Idaho, AJ Wool. Welcome. It looks like we're going to skip every one of these, every other one. Give us the pattern we're looking for, and then we'll have to figure out. I think that's probably the background color. So we'll have to play with that. We'll do every one of these in the light, in the dark. This is the dark color. This. Oh, see, I screwed that up. Back up a bit. Only the dark ones. Yeah, I like that color picker. It's kind of nice to give you all three values. I'd like to see a CMYK in there too, but that's okay. I should have just looked at these. The ones I'm replacing are the 16s. But they're not. Interesting. We're going to back it up. If I do this one, which one is that? That still looks right. That still looks right, and then this one. Okay, so we're almost there. Is there? Oh, there's one more here. Okay, that's awesome. Now we're going to go back to our background, and we're going to choose one of the light colors. So let's do that. No, that's too light. Maybe that. See how it looks. So we're going to take these 16 ones. It's too light. Yeah, it's got to be darker. Boy, I really thought I was just going to be able to pluck two colors out of here and have some luck with it, but it's because these are so similar, especially with a gradient on it, it's proving a little trickier than I'd like. Those are not very different. What's this center? Let's use the center as something. Back here, let's take these. Are you saying that that one? Just be subtle. Okay. We'll pick this as our dark color. Dark color? But that light is too light. Right. That's our dark color. Now we can take like maybe this and this. That's definitely not what I wanted. Okay. Still could go darker, I feel like. 7. So let's do this one and see how bad these look next to each other. Yeah, I think I need to go lighter than that, but I don't know how light. So I don't really see any light colors in here. So this is my initial color. So what I want to do is just tweak it lighter. Maybe that. Alpha involved at all in the gradient? No. Well, there is in that graphic, but there is not. There's not here. That works. That's going to be the color. Okay. So let's take this, and then we still need to tweak up our background, which yeah, background has a color right here. So let's just change this to that. No, that's too much. But maybe we could have a third color, a third background of some kind. So let's change out these 16s, A3s. Once we've done that, that looks pretty nice. Pretty nice, but I can't have that white. That's too much white pop. So let's pick something kind of in the middle. That doesn't look too bad, right? I know you can't see it that well, but that doesn't look terrible at all. Okay. Now, what I could really use is an APL expert to help me figure out how I apply this to just my back. Oh, you know what? This is probably a resource. So I have these in graphics. I have this spiral, and then down here we have an item that's a vector graphic. The source is spiral. So maybe we can do this. Let's think about this. So I'm going to have an item that looks like this thing. That? Yeah. We're going to come over to our code and we're going to do, let's just create a new APL document. So inside APL here, I'm going to create a, I don't know, we'll call it a home, let's call it launch. Launch.json, and I'm just going to park this for a second so I have it, that piece there. But what I also need then, realistically, is, because what I want to do is take this and apply it to everything. So we'll put it behind our questions. We'll put it behind this launch screen. So we'll just do this. We'll take this whole document as is, and we're going to drop it in. So I can get rid of that. So this becomes our APL document for our launch screen. Now this is good, but I need to add one more piece to this. So we have our items, and I have this vector graphic. But I need, and this is something I always get hung up on. How did we do this for one of our others? I basically want to take another item. See if I have items here, and this comes down to this. So if I were to do this, just take a image and drop it in here. No, I can't do that here. I have to do that here. So what if I take this image and I just drop it inside, please? I don't want that. I want it to be on top of, please. I don't remember how to do that though. There's a way to do this. Maybe somebody knows, but I don't remember. AJ, this is a lot more like put the animation in a separate container. So I have to. Okay, we can do that. So you're suggesting that I would have a new container. And then I would have another new container, maybe. And then vector graphic goes inside this one, and image goes inside this one. And that doesn't really get me what I want, but we have some things we can do here. So now let's take a look at our layout. Height, width. What if I just don't specify those? Will it get rid of all the padding? I don't need any of that. Nope. Stop doing Control S. And then this same deal. Get rid of all this. We're still not in a great spot, but we could take, let's get our actual graphic. Come on, let's go. It's going to be a large logo. Yeah. All right. So we'll just take this thing here. We have our graphic. We're going to get rid of those. Now I just got to figure out how to stack them on top of each other, and I don't know how to do that. Oxygen Box thinks nesting, put animation in a separate container. Okay, I've done that now. And they still stack on top of each other. There is a way. Good morning, Zach, man. Let's hear your sounds.
Developers.
There it is. Good morning, Zach, man. There is a way to do this. I just don't remember. Oh, image height and width have to be defined. Let's take these. Great. It doesn't solve my problem, but what else can we do here? If I take this container up here, that doesn't really solve it either. Position absolute, okay. That takes me way back. Position absolute. Position. I should have thought of this actually. Thank you, Gold Zulu. Position. Don't see it. Oh, thank you, Cobra0514 for the subscription. So kind. Very generous. If you guys don't know, any subscriptions or bits or any donations you make to this channel, all of the money is donated to the STIR Scholarship, which supports women entering college in technology fields like computer science. So thank you for supporting those women.
$23. 2319! We have a 2319!
So we have this position absolute. Let's just take this. Still don't like that. Should not have additional properties like position. Yeah, so I have this position absolute now assigned in the same place. So I have item, position absolute, position. It doesn't even like this. Not the container itself, child components of the container. So that would mean that I want to take this image. Let's come back to this view. I want to take this image and drop it in this container. And then probably just move this container up. And then I can get rid of those two. Rid of that. And on these individual items, we're going to do position absolute. And that already did it. That already did it. Gold Zulu to the rescue. Now we have our graphic. Now we have our logo. So this is our loading screen. That looks awesome. Okay, so now that we have this, and I may change my graphic up. I mean, I made this like 2 years ago, and I don't love it anymore, but at least I have this stuff in place. So we have our loading screen. This is all static. It doesn't change. So we're just going to take what we've just created here. Yeah, Oxygen Box, I probably could have. If we had used our brains, as I don't tend to do. This page does not like to stay in cache. If we back up to the recently created one that looks like this, yes, we probably could have figured that out. Because they are doing just that. And in fact, theirs is centered. I wonder why the other one is not centered. On a real device, the spiral is centered on the screen. It looks centered here too. Okay, so we're good on that. So let's take this as our new launch screen. And what we're going to do is on our launch request, we are going to create some new APL. So right in here, if you guys haven't seen a lot of Alexa stuff, we have a bunch of new friends here today, by the way. But if you haven't seen what's going on with Alexa, basically we're using the Alexa SDK. We pass a speak and a reprompt back to the skill. So this creates the SDK creates a JSON file that I sent back. This all generates a JSON file that gets sent back to Alexa to tell it exactly what to do. So in this case, we have our launch request. We have some data that we grab from our database about the user. We check for achievements. There's a bunch of stuff that happens here. We welcome the user if this is the first time they've ever come into the skill. And then finally, we have an action query, which is like, hey, what do you want to do? So I'll show you that demo in just a second. But what we want to do is add some APL. So if we come to ask question or some other place where we've done this before, I'm going to take this chunk. I'm going to come over to our launch request. And in here, I'm going to add, first we want to make sure that they have APL available. So that means that they have a device or whatever, but like they are viewing this skill on a device that has a screen. We only want to send APL responses when they actually have a screen. And so we'll do launch. We don't have any data for this one. And then all of this can go away because we don't have any, there's no unique data, although there might be some someday. And then document is going to look like that. So this should be enough for us to build out our directive, add this APL to our response, and send that back to the user. So let's test this and see exactly what I broke, because I have about a 4% confidence in this actually working. So if we come here and we come to our developer console, I'm going to quit our skill that we were working in. And what we're going to do is just say open Jeff's trivia game. This should launch the skill, and I'll turn the skill IO. We should be able to see our newly created screen right here. Hopefully. If I didn't break everything. Oh my goodness.
This is TKO Trivia. If you thought Jeopardy was challenging, You're in for a treat.
That's amazing. So here, let's zoom out a little bit.
2 achievements unlocked. 10 times. You've played TKO Trivia 10 times now. Nice work. You just completed your 10th achievement.
Cool.
You
I'm
can
going to try this again on the small hub, which is what the Echo Show 5 is.
This is
Oh,
TKO
yeah.
Trivia. A trivia game with 20 different categories that will knock you out.
All right.
What would you like to do now?
Let's try on some real devices. I'll go to this view so you can kind of see. Alexa, open Jeff's trivia game.
Welcome to TKO Trivia. What should we do next? You can say give me a random question
Can you see
or
that?
start today's game.
That looks so good. Alexa, quit.
Something is definitely very broken. If only I could fix it myself.
What did I break?
Sorry for the inconvenience. I've notified our developers. Let's start over. What would you like to do now?
Cannot read property fields of undefined. That feels like a
Oops.
weird error.
It looks like one of our programmers
Alexa.
broke something.
Alexa, quit. That was weird. I asked it to quit and it thought it was an answer. Yeah, AJ, basically, the APL is just a JSON document. So this is this document here, this JSON that I've borrowed, modified. I don't want to say created. This is just a JSON document, and I pass it as a directive through the Ask SDK. But if we come and look at this, if I come in my skill IO, you can see that what actually happens is this is the response that I send back. Well, this is the response that I send back, and you can see that there's this directives node. Oh, you can't see anything. This is the directives node. So this is the response that I send back. And in here, there's a directive, and this has all of that APL. So all of that stuff that was in my document is passed as part of my JSON. And then in addition to that, I also have any other data that I had, like my session attributes, what question you were on, any achievements you have, what to say, like this is TKO Trivia. So all of that stuff is passed through as part of the same document. But the way I construct it using the SDK is to add the APL and add the speech and add the images and do all that. So that's cool. Let's look on the big one. See how this works. Alexa, open Jeff's trivia game.
This is TKO Trivia. If you thought Jeopardy was challenging, you're in for a treat.
Yeah, that looks
What
so
should we
good.
do next?
Give me a sports question.
Here's one from the sports and games category. What NBA player holds the record for scoring in a single game with 100 points?
This is really coming together, guys. Alexa, Wilt Chamberlain.
Way to go! You got that one right. Wilt Chamberlain was the correct answer. What should we do this time?
Stop.
Excuse me. I have to go. Somewhere, there is a crime that needs justice.
Oh my gosh, guys, this is so cool. Okay, so we were able to add a loading screen, but now what I want to do is be able to figure out how do I take that background, that new swirly background that we have, and put it in other places. And I don't think that's going to be super hard. I don't think it is. So if we look at question, we have this graphics node that's sitting here that's empty. And so if I look at my launch JSON, up here we have this graphics node, and it has this nice spiral that we have borrowed. So let me make sure I get the whole thing. So we're going to take the entire graphics node, since mine is empty, down to here. And we're going to copy that. We're going to put it into question.json. I'm going to pretend like I know what I'm doing. And we're just going to drop that in there. That should be fine. But then we need to actually have it work. And to do that, what we need to do is take this item, this vector graphic background, down to here. we need to go into question, and we need to think about where we have our background image now. So we have this Alexa background that looks like that. That's our background image. And then we also have a bunch of other stuff. But then I also have it here. Oh no, this background is for the answer. So let's take this piece out. And then what we're going to do is take this. Go to the tool real quick just to preview this, because I don't think this is going to look good. Please catch up. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought might happen. Okay, so I have my vector graphic. If I take all of this out, what happens? I get exactly what I wanted. So this, where's the, we didn't have our background color defined. So let's come back here, because at the very, very top of this one, we have this background color. So we'll put that right here. And we'll take this again. And it does not like my container. And I think it's this piece that it doesn't like. Yeah. If I do absolute, need more quotes. That does not solve this. But that's how I want it to work. What if I do this one? It already has position absolute. So what am I doing wrong here that I can't get my, I want this container to sit on top of the swirly. I was able to install the swirly nicely, but I don't have, what did we do in the other one? If we look at launch, I have everything in the same container. That's why. This one has everything in the same container. I could try that. I don't think I'm going to love it, but I could try it. So what if I just take the Alexa header first? Put it inside here. And let's take the data for that. Okay, let's find our header. Instead of that, we'll just do this. That goes in the right place. Maybe we can do this in one container. And then we have our text and we have our text. Take this whole container away and just do this. How do those end up? So we can take the text here. This is a answer. And I think we could probably just put the padding that we had on the container. So this should be this would be something like sports and games, right? Yeah, so we just need to find a way to bump those over. But I don't think that's a major lift. I think we probably even have that padding in the container itself. Padding left. Let's start with padding left. And here we should be able to do padding left. Look at that. You guys, this is almost like I know what I'm doing. Almost. Wow, okay. That gets it there. So the only piece that's missing now is that other background image. So we had in here, we had this Alexa background. They kind of go here. And instead of being type this Alexa background has, so what if we just make this image? Sir, position. You just do this enough times, you start to figure it out. All of that snaps back in, and then I should be able to take one of my images from my S3 bucket, like a icons, art and stage 512. Just grab this link. Come back into here and just make this, just so we can see it. No, no. Oh, we were so close. Okay. I probably need a width and a height. Oh, that would have been awesome if it worked. Background blur, I don't care about that. Image. What do we have wrong here? Should not have background image source. It should just be source. Oh, look at that. Okay. So now I kind of want it blurred a little bit or faded. What I want to do is just put a, it's too bold, right? What I want is for all of that stuff in the background to fade back. Can I do an opacity? Is that an option? Really what I was going for. I mean, it did exactly what I wanted, but that's not exactly what I was going for. Because what I really want is for everything in the background to just get darker. So what I really want is a layer that sits over top of this that is like 50% black. Goldzulu, you've got to know how to do this. There's got to be a way. to do this, where I basically just want to add a new element right here. That new element is just going to be full size black, cover the entire background of the screen. So everything that's below it. So that would be the spiral and the image, the mask and the painting here. Put a black overlay with opacity 0.3. I'm totally with you. How do I do a black overlay? That's the thing I'm missing. Can I just, is it just it's not its own container. Is there such thing called an overlay? No. What can I apply those properties to? Because I think we're really close here. We just want to dim everything out a little bit. A frame. Okay, let's do a frame. Can I just drop? I can't drop it there. Of course not. That would be too easy and obvious. Did not take that frame. So could I just do like frame as the child of the container? That's fine. But here's what I don't want though. I don't want sports and games and this is a question and this is an answer. I don't want those dimmed. I only want these items dimmed. But I found that if I put them in separate containers, then they stack on top of each other. Corey Haynes, are you still here? Don't you have a service that'll give me a one color pixel image? Does that service offer transparent graphics, like partially transparent? Because I could just slap a graphic in here, stretch it to full size, and make it like partially transparent. How do I want to do this? I don't have Photoshop on this machine, or I would just knock that out here quickly. But I don't know another tool that I can use very well to create that quickly without looking foolish. How do we give the frame a color and an opacity? Oxygen Box, Goldzula, I'm with you guys, but a frame is a container, right? It has its own. I would put all the things inside of it. And I think a frame can take one child. So you're saying that I would put the entire. Like, what if I just took this entire container and put it inside a frame? That won't work. And if I take these two and put them inside a frame, inside a container, but then everything will be dim, and that's not what I want. I don't want this text here to be dim. I want this to be bright white. I only want the stuff that's in the background, this big red graphic and the swirl, to be behind something that's dim. I see. Okay, so you're suggesting that I'm going to take a. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this, that, and in this thing, I think I understand what you guys are saying now. This is going to be type frame, right? And then I'm assuming it has item property. I think that's how this works. In that item, I'm going to have a new container. So this is going to be type container. And this is going to have items. Array. And then these two boys are going to go away. Go inside here. So I have my container, I have my frame. All right, thanks, AJ. Thanks for stopping by. We'll add this. That. Okay, I don't have any errors, but now I don't see any of my background. We'll add a width to this in case. Hey, Zella. What am I doing? This feels like this should be so much easier. So this stuff here look like that. And I'm going to back up. Since Zella is here, we're going to see if Zella has a different approach to what I've done so far. So Zella, this is where we've gotten. I have a bunch of elements on the screen, right? This text, this logo, the swirl that's in the back, and this big graphic. I want the big graphic and the swirl to be 30 to 50% black on top of it. I have everything else working and perfect. I just want to make these dimmer by laying a black overlay on top of them. I was thinking that I would take right here in this gap, I would take, oh my goodness. But can I just slap that in there, or do I need to put anything inside of it? Like, can I just take this and just drop it here? Oops. Oh my goodness. That's amazing. So I'm assuming the grid doesn't actually show. It's just telling me that it's transparent. Is that accurate? So I'm able to just slap this frame right in there like that, which is awesome. That's kind of what I was hoping the answer would be. What does that look like on a device? I've now totally destroyed everything, and I don't have an easy way to copy and paste this into my work, but that's okay. We'll grab this stuff together. So let's look at our actual code that we have. And we had in here we have our vector graphic, and then we needed to bring our image in. So let's start with, get out of the way, Stream Deck. Let's start with our image, which is this piece. Go here. And it's not going to be art and stage. We actually want to take this property here. Okay. Next, we had a frame and our header. Those are just going to go right here. So we're going to get rid of this. So frame is there. My header is here, and the header takes this. This is the header title. And header attribution image is this. Okay, so that gets us to our header. And then the last pieces down here were just our 2 text boxes. And we didn't actually make any changes to those, so we just have to move them out of our container. So that's this and this. Oh, we did actually make a change. Hold on. They're going to come up a level to here. Container pad somewhere. Padding left. Actually, we could probably do all these. Padding all these. And padding all these. Let's get rid of this container. Anymore. Whoa, you jumped on me. Container down here. Okay. Let's the next document now, I think. Why don't you like padding? Oh, because I already have it. Let's see what that looks like. So if we come back to my testing tab, open my game, we should see our beautiful loading screen now.
This is TKO Trivia.
So great.
A trivia game with 20 different categories that will knock you out.
And then I say,
What
give me
should
a
we do
science
this
question.
I picked a tricky science question this time. In addition to solid, liquid, and gas, what is the fourth fundamental state of matter?
Okay. I think I need to make bigger versions of those graphics. Or smaller, maybe. I don't know. That's a little big, I think. I like it centered in the screen, but I feel like those are a little big. I wonder if we can play with our sizing.
Okay. What is your answer?
So if we think about our graphic, this guy, instead of viewport width, viewport height, could I do like a little math on it? Do that. Give me a nature question.
This is a fun nature question for you.
So I need better graphics.
Rounded to the nearest whole number. How many pounds does 1 cubic foot of water weigh? Is it 22 pounds, 42 pounds, 62 pounds, or 82 pounds?
So instead of this, I think we could do like
Okay. What is your answer?
I don't even want that. Do I have to put a height and a width? Can I just do that? Give me a sports question. Did I just break it? No. What are we doing? Come on. Yeah, this really looks good. This looks so much better than I was even going to expect it to look. So very pleased. Did I kill the service? No. What are we doing? Please go. Clearly it hit it.
This is TKO Trivia. If you thought Jeopardy was challenging, you're in for a treat. What would you like to do now? You can start today's game, or ask for a trivia question.
I'm with you. Learn from the master. That's what they say. Master. Zella just gave me this lovely code. We're going to come in and look at our image. Width, height, scale, comma. Okay. This looks so good. Give me a sports question and make the graphic smaller than it was before.
From the sports and games category.
We're so close. We just need it centered now.
Tennis player Rafael Nadal is known as the king of what type of tennis playing surface?
Now we just need to center it. We can do this. Is there what is the alignment property that I can use to do this?
What is your answer?
Is it just a line? And I'm also going to need like a vertical align. Give me a science question.
This is a fun science question for you.
Well, that doesn't work.
What chemical element has just one proton and one electron?
All right, so Zella, you're saying that now things get tricky. Would I be making my life easier if I just made the graphics that were full size and had the padding around it to just slap in there? No, because then I probably have to make a different graphic for each screen size.
What is your answer?
You could set align items to center on my parent container. All right, let's give that a try. So we'll lose this. That didn't do anything. Parent container. Align items center. Justify content. Center. And give me a oxygen box. It does kind of sound like that. It's supposed to be a bubbling beaker. I was trying to, like, this is a really challenging thing to come up with, like, the sonic branding for categories. And I thought a bubbling beaker was a good science sound, but maybe it does sound
I picked a tricky science question this time. What essential household item is made of water, lye, and animal fat?
Well, the good news, Zella, is that I got it centered, but now everything else is broken.
Okay, what is your answer?
We could take those other items, right? The text and the header. If I put those in their own container, would that fix it? Probably not. Here, we're going to back up. Let's take those two lines out. It's good to know what those do. We're going to get rid of that. Let's go back to this. This should at least give me the whole graphic on the screen, and then I can Then I can get this fired up and working. All right, that's good. Let's try a different. Let's try one we haven't tried. Music. Give me a music question.
I hope you like this one about music. What pop singer was born with the name Katherine Hudson but adopted a stage name to avoid being confused with the actress Kate Hudson?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something different with these graphics, I think. I think that's gonna be my only recourse here.
Okay, what is your answer?
Another option is I think these graphics I got from the Noun project. I think that they have I think they have SVGs. SVGs instead, so like this isn't the one I'm using, but let's take this. Log me in, please. No, I want none of that. I want to log in. Just let me log in. Why does it have to be so complicated? Okay. No, thank you. So now if I look at this, get this icon. Basic download. Continue. Yeah, they offer SVGs of all of their graphics. So maybe I'm using all of my icons came from here. Zella, what do you think about me instead of using graphics for all of my icons, instead just using the raw SVGs? And then I could just save those SVG files as JSON in my application. Then I could just refer to them that way. I could change the colors. I could do all sorts of stuff with them at that point. That may have to be a project for another day. What's your thoughts on going SVG with my icons versus keeping the PNGs that I have now? Be curious. Oxygen Box thinks it might be Kate Bush, the answer to this question. What pop singer was born with the name Katherine Hudson? It is, in fact, not Kate Hudson. Kate Bush. This is Katy Perry. You would always prefer SVG over PNG JPG. All right. All right, so maybe that's a project for me for tomorrow, is figuring out how to save SVG files and then bring them in as resources into my projects. Maybe that's a tomorrow thing. We made some great progress today, though. We have our question here. If we come to Katy Perry, come on, mouse, where are you? Too many screens. Okay, Katy Perry. I haven't replaced the background on the answer yet. Oh, I have.
Hurrah!
Awesome.
You got that one right. Katy Perry was the correct answer. What should we do this time?
Oh, don't you worry, Zella. I will be using all of the APL.ninja stuff to do this for sure. Okay. Well, I think we've made some good progress today. We're not done by any means. I still need to rethink my background graphics and how those are going to work. But we've got a fancy swirly now. If I open my skill, I mean, just look at this intro. Like, this is what you see. Bam! You open the skill.
Welcome to TKO Trivia.
That looks
What should we do next? You can say give me a random question or start today's game.
I'm very excited. Good progress today, everybody. Great amount of help. I'm loving this. So we'll keep working on this tomorrow. But I think I got to take a pause for today. Who's got somebody they would recommend we go raid? We had fun raiding that new person yesterday. Here, let's see if I go over to Twitch. I'll do it on screen. TV, browse, science and technology. Who should we go see? I want to find somebody with just a couple of followers and we can make their day. A couple of viewers. So many people live. This is awesome. Here, we'll go see Ryan Tupo.
At Firehouse Subs.
All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go over to our raid. And we'll head over there and we're gonna make this guy's day. So go over, say hi to Ryan. It looks like he's working on some Java stuff, which is always cool to check out what people are building. But let's go make a bunch of noise, surprise him and make his day. Sound good? Thank you guys all for tuning in today. We'll be back tomorrow and we'll keep rolling on this. This has been awesome. See you soon.